I'm learning new things every single day. I'm still working on getting better in all my areas of my game, but it's been a great experience so far.
Okay, next is going to be Rick Stroud.
Anton, we've seen you in various positions, not just as safety, but in nickel covering different guys. How difficult is it to essentially learn more than one position, and do you like the fact that your versatility gets you on that field?
Yeah, it's difficult, but that's part of the job. My goal is to study and be the most prepared as I can be, and so I got to do two different jobs, and I'm gonna just go home and study every day to make sure I get those jobs done. So it's difficult, but it's part of the work.
Okay, next is going to be Jenna Lane.
Antoine, I know that your dad played against Tom Brady, and we talked to you after the draft about the fact that your dad picked him off. I just wanted to know, what's it been like for you to take the field with him? You also told us after the draft that he's a guy that you really looked up to growing up.
Yeah, it's been a crazy experience. Going up and practicing against him every day is just wild to me still. But it's a great work. It's getting me better, so I'm enjoying it.
And how has he specifically helped you get better? Like Mike Edwards was talking about the fact that he loves to look off safeties. And then Sean Murphy-Bunting was talking about that as well, just how he manipulates defenses with his eyes and things like that. How is he helping you get better?
Yeah, I would just say how he plays. He's a dog out there, and he's out there. Every time he throws a ball, it's a perfect pass in perfect places. And I feel like it just helps me get better to when I go out and we actually start playing to just play my technique, but also getting that from the GOAT every day. It's just been a great practice for me.
All right, next up is going to be Luke Easterling.
Antoine, obviously your dad played the game at a high level, and I'm sure that he's, your whole life been telling you things about his experience and kind of doing his best to prepare you for that. But, now you're here, now you're at that level for yourself. What are some things that you can already tell your dad was absolutely right about? And what are maybe some things you're finding that really there's no way to prepare for them except to do them yourself and experience them?
I would say one thing that he always told me was that the game is faster. Coming out from the college to the pros, the speed is different. So I would say he's right about that. And he also just tells me just to continue to focus working on my technique, learning the plays, learning the system, and just continue to keep just playing hard, and everything will all work out at the end.
And obviously this has been an extremely unique offseason for everybody, but particularly as a rookie, how are you trying to find other ways to overcome the lost reps during the offseason in terms of mini camps and OTAs, and the fact that you won't have preseason games? Does that give you kind of an added kind of pressure? Maybe is not the right word, but to go out, especially in live periods, and try to make plays because you won't get a chance to do that in a game situation before the games are real?
Yeah, I would just say every time I'm out there, I'm giving it my all. I know we haven't been able to get as many reps as we would have, but just basically being able to take mental reps when I'm not in, seeing what the defense is doing when I'm not in, I feel like it's a big part of taking those just extra mental reps just to get myself prepared.
All right, next up is Mark Cook.
Hey, you mentioned earlier about something your dad said about the speed of the game from college to the NFL, but from training camp to an actual game, there's obviously a big jump. How do you get yourself prepared for that? Or can you actually even get yourself prepared for that? And what are some of the bumps and bruises you might expect, despite the fact that you have confidence, without having that preseason?
I just come in here and just work. Like I said before, we might not get as many reps as we would have, but as far as being prepared for the speed of the game, I feel like it's just mentally, you just have to be prepared. Physically, everybody's big, everybody can run, everybody's fast, but I feel like mentally is the thing that you really need to keep training yourself on and making sure that you're focused on where you're supposed to be at, what you're supposed to be doing on specific plays. And so I feel like that's just how you make up for those extra reps.
You talk about playing in practice against a legend like Tom Brady. Week 1, Drew Brees, if you're out there on the field, what's that going to be like to go from statistically the two best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL?
It's great to see it. it's gonna be a tough job, but I'm just gonna go out there and do everything that I can to help my team win.
Thank you.
Okay, next is going to be Greg Allman.
Antoine, you talked about adjusting to the speed, but obviously it's tricky to adjust to the physicality when you have so little tackling and so little full contact periods. What can you do to show your willingness, your eagerness to help with the run, to get in there when you can't really tackle as much as you normally would in a practice or in preseason?
Well, we have third periods. When the running back's in the hole, we can come up there, hit them, throw them up. But when it's in the open space, come up and tag off on the hip. And just by playing hard, making sure you're running to the ball, I guess that shows a person's attitude and how they play. So just working hard and running to the ball is one way you can show that.
Thanks, Antoine.
All right, next is John Ledyard.
Antoine, Coach Arians said in an interview recently with SiriusXM NFL Radio that you kind of reminded him as a combination of Budda Baker and Tyrann Mathieu. I'm curious what you think. Do you think that's an accurate comparison? And are those guys that you've watched and maybe modeled some of your game after?
Yeah, I would say so. Both are great players, all around, just great players. If you turn on the film and watch them, they're all over the field. And, that's kind of something that I do. I try to use my versatility and in many ways I can, just to help my team. So I believe that's a very accurate comparison.
Okay, next up is going to be Rick Stroud.
Hey, Antoine, of course, you played at Minnesota. It wasn't that long ago. We watched the murder of George Floyd, and we saw players in the NFL and other places too come together and sort of use their platform, to talk about social injustice and things. What's your perspective on all that, and how comforting is it sort of to know that guys have a voice, in this league, and they're going to use it for the right things?
Yeah, it's very comforting. As athletes, we got to use our platform as our voice and reach out and hit as many people as we can. And so it's just great for, athletes and anybody that's in top that's an idol to people, just to go out there and reach out and just say something, speak up and use their voice. So I think it's great that we're allowed to do that.
Okay, we have time for a couple more. Oops, go ahead, Rick.
No, I was just going to say, your teammate Tyler Johnson got off to a little slow start with the injury and whatnot. How's he doing? And when you talk to him, where's his mindset at right now?
Yeah, Tyler's doing well. He's getting adjusted like everybody else is. He's still in here working hard, and so he's just getting adjusted just like everybody else.
Okay, next is Jenna Lane.
Back to Brady. Tristan Wirfs had told us that Brady came up to him one day and was like, "How old are you again?" And he's like 21. And he's like, "Man, he said something along the lines of he's like twice as old as him." Have you had a moment with Brady like that, or has he said anything like that to you?
Yeah. Well, when I first got drafted, he had texted me and he was talking about how he played against my dad. And I just thought that was just thinking about that right there is just crazy how he played against my dad. And I don't know, it's just wild just to see the age disparity, even though he's still in the league and doing his thing. It's just ridiculous to even just think about.
Is it crazy to see him out there and still playing at a high level with so many young guys literally half his age, and he's out there and at times he's talking trash too, and he'll do it in games against Jalen Ramsey.
It's crazy. I mean, he's been in the league as long as I've been alive. I'm 22 years old. He's pretty much been in the league my entire life. So it's crazy that he's still able to do what he does at his age. It's ridiculous.
All right, time for a couple more. We're going to go to Luke Easterling.
Antoine, we don't really know what the college football season is going to look like this year, but one thing it looks like is that we're not going to have Minnesota football, which I just want your thoughts on that. And also, is there anybody on that team now? I know we've seen Rashad Bateman, already opted out before that, but has anybody reached out to you? Have you had conversations with some of those guys that are kind of facing tough decisions about their football future because of where we're at?
Yeah, I haven't really had too many conversations with anybody, but it is unfortunate that it's come down to this and that they can't have a season. I feel bad for all the guys back there in Minnesota, but it's just the way of life right now. It's just unfortunate times.
Okay, our last one's going to come from Taylor Jenkins.
So Coach Bowles really values his safeties, and he values versatility above all. in that position. So how different is, without giving too much away, what he's asking you to do from the slot, from free, from strong? How much different is that from what you were asking college? And how fun is it to try and learn all those positions and grow as a player to do all of these things?
Yeah, it's not too much of a difference. I've played nickel, free safety, strong safety all throughout my college career, so I already know what each position is like. So right now I'm just focusing on just learning the scheme of the defense, learning the techniques that we're supposed to use, and just going out there and practicing hard. So I wouldn't say it's a huge difference from playing in college.
All right, that's all for today. Appreciate you taking the time, Antoine.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks.